Ladies love
funny.
Louis, bro. The ladies.
Yeah,
I know
no, it's
Louis,
great.
but it sounds better to say Louis. Ladies love Louis.
Yeah.
Louis.
You can say whatever you want.
I'm down. We should switch it to Louis. I mean, honestly.
Yeah,
I
maybe
love
it's
Louis the
mid-career
Child, dude.
change.
You know, 2025, it's Louis now.
Yeah. Artist formerly
Like a
known
big
as
announcement.
Louis. It's
Yeah.
now Louis.
That's a big change.
We
Rebrand.
haven't changed the spelling.
No.
Yeah.
It's just the pronunciation.
What's up, everybody? My name is Parker Immense,
My name's Danny Ferrari.
and we are Excellent Sound. Today, we have another episode of The Excellent Show with Freddie and Robbie.
Louis the Child.
Louis
Yeah.
the
I'm
Child,
surprised
baby.
you didn't say your
That's
that
us.
name first.
I know. I was-
They're
I was
government
waiting-
names.
I was waiting for the dramatic pause. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Louis
Had
the
to build
Child.
drama.
You guys have like the soundtrack to my life from like a big period of time,
Aw,
like
thank you.
2014 to like 2016. You guys had some crazy records, dude. I was playing that on repeat, man. It's really awesome that you guys are here.
Yeah, thanks for coming, boys.
Thanks for
Yeah,
having us.
I want to just start off the rip, you guys. Okay, so you guys met at a Madeon concert back in
Yes.
the day, and this is 100% true.
This is 100% true.
Okay, and then on your newest album, you guys are collaborating with Madeon. Mm-hmm. How insane is that?
Yeah.
Could you guys
Pretty
talk
nuts.
about that? Like,
Yeah.
that's such a cool full
Full
circle
circle,
moment.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because first of all, us meeting at the Madeon concert was literally like my friend being like, "Hey, this is my buddy Freddie," and I was like, "Hey, what up? I'm Robbie," and he was like, "Hey," and like that was it.
Nice.
Like,
I think
and
we
then-
realized that we met there like years later. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
we're like,
wow.
oh wait, we met at that Madeon show, and then like we saw photos, and we were like standing next to each other, and we're like, oh damn.
That's
so
crazy.
cool.
Did you guys exchange candy and stuff?
No, it was literally like we said hi to each other, and that was it.
Oh, okay.
Like,
So you guys
at the
just
show,
and you totally forgot about it until you guys met later.
And then like we started talking like on Facebook because we grew up in the same area,
Right.
And went to the same school and stuff, and then formed Louis the Child. And like a lot of our early music was very like Madeon-esque, and the first like real tour we went on was with him back in like 2015 or so.
Wow.
So we've been friends with him like for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and we've made music with him a couple times over the years, and you know, I don't know, just like it lined up right to make music with him. Like this year, he was doing his whole like gap year thing where he's like just doing random little shit for fun. So
Yeah.
it was really fun to get in with him and like make something that we all felt really, really good about, and something that actually ended up coming out because we've made some records with him that just like didn't, you know, reach
Yeah.
that high mark.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool.
So
Like,
how did you
crazy.
get in touch with him? Like, you guys went
Yeah.
to a show, and then you guys formed Louis the Child,
Mm-hmm.
Louis.
And there was one time we found his Facebook, and we wanted to like send him a song, and there was some weird like paywall thing with it where like we had to pay $1 to like
Whoa.
message him on Facebook.
Nice.
Like we somehow found his personal Facebook page and like sent him a song. And I want to say he messaged us back and was like, "Yeah, this is really cool," or like, and I don't know
Yeah.
why it cost $1. Like, I'm gonna fix that.
He's just hustling everybody.
yeah.
That's so cool.
Make it 10.
Yeah.
It was like Cameo before Cameo.
He's like, it's supposed to be $10.
Yeah. And
That's
then
cool.
I can't even remember how the whole tour thing happened. Maybe we I think we did like a show with him like once or twice, and then the tour offer came in. I can't even. That
I
shit
can't
was
remember
like so
either,
long
yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have been doing this for a minute.
Yeah.
You guys have definitely been
12
around.
years almost.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And you guys were super young too, right?
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
were like in high school when all this started like popping off.
We really did. Like I feel like when like It's Strange came out, I feel like that was really like the moment that like shit really, really changed for us. And that was like right when I was starting college and Freddie was a senior in high school.
Wow.
That's so sick, dude.
So for you guys, was it like just being able to so when you guys started the project, was it anything close to what it is now? Like, did you guys set out for it to have this, sort of sound like, like the future bass sort of like pop sort of sound that you guys have now and obviously have developed? Did you guys start out wanting to create that, or did that just sort of naturally happen and then it became what it is?
It was always just kind of dance music,
Right.
like electro and French electro and dubstep and everything that goes into electronic music. But When we started, like we said, it was like kind of more Madeon focused, like French electro and like Justicey and kind of
Nice.
that kind of era. And then just new, you know, you like new music and you're like, oh, let's try something like that. Or like,
Yeah.
you know, I think Cashmere Cat really influenced us back in the day.
Oh,
like,
Cashmere Cat,
Yeah.
dude.
so kind of that kind of wave of future bass and kind of indie dance music and stuff.
I'm always curious for like guys like you that have like been around for a minute, like, because I started producing electronic music probably in about like 2012, maybe 11, like just starting, and there was no you couldn't learn how to make anything. There was nothing on YouTube, right? And you guys obviously seems like you guys got some success somewhat quickly for just starting out, right? You guys were producing for how long before you started like popping off, you think?
I think I was like 12 when I started, and
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
you were
like,
doing it for a minute
was
before.
doing like a lot of work before it ever really. I think it probably took like 6 years,
Okay.
7 years of doing
So
it.
back then, for you guys, because like for me, I had a little bit of YouTube, and then it would be like you would have to find a friend that was better than you, that was really
Yeah.
good. So for you guys, like, how did you guys develop your skill as producers? Where like kids can get good in like a month at producing now with like
Yeah.
YouTube and stuff, and obviously sounds have evolved over time to be a lot better. So for you guys, how are you guys able to learn all that knowledge? What would you guys do to get better at producing?
Definitely a lot of YouTube for like sound design and like using synthesizers and compressors and reverb and whatnot, like everything on that end, like kind of the more technical stuff with production, I would say, on YouTube. But then stuff like, you know, I was in jazz band and classical band, and like, you know, watching the conductors, you know, be like, play this part and then, okay, make it brighter here, or make it, you know,
Okay.
drag out this note to make it feel, you know, make you feel that note for a little bit longer, and get that kind of
cool.
like the kind of music theory behind, you know, classical music and jazz music kind of makes its way into our production a good amount from kind of just my lessons and taking band class and jazz and sax lessons and drum lessons and whatnot.
Nice.
So kind of incorporating some of that of like the conductor approach, where you're like, you know, like, oh, we want to feel this moment more, or like kind of, oh, let's make this brighter, or make it more kind of warm, or, you know, just getting really analytical about like the timbre of different sounds you're using and the emotion and melodies and whatnot.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's super cool.
It's like almost like classically trained a little bit, and using that into your, you know, applying that into your actual production and sound.
Yeah, you could definitely hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
It's pretty rare for us to get like another duo on the show. Like, what are your guys' like roles when you guys are collaborating? Do you guys have very specific roles, or do you guys kind of trade off?
It's pretty like fluid, kind of just we pass the computer back and forth, both play like piano and drums, and
Dope.
get the thing made.
We definitely do have like certain things that we're each better, I'd say,
Your strengths.
at, like strength. Yeah, like I think I'm very good at seeing big picture things with a song. Like I love like arranging songs, and I can kind of take a step back and really look at like, we don't need anything here, or we need something here, or that thing needs to go there, and like move it around. And Freddie's really good at like, he can sit and like EQ the tiniest little things for like hours that I won't really notice, but like
Right.
Yeah.
he's really good at that. And even between us, I feel like Freddie's much more like production focused, and I'm definitely more like live focused.
Interesting.
And I think that also kind of stems from like when we first met, I was just DJing and making mashups and stuff, and Freddie was producing. And so when we first started, like we were kind of in our own little lanes, and then over the years it kind of like melded into like, all right, I got better at producing, Freddie got better at DJing. Now we're both like, can both like speak those languages really well.
That's so cool, man. Do you guys take sessions on like separately for Louis the Child and then
Yeah.
bring them together, or do you guys always go to sessions together?
Just if someone's out of town,
Yeah.
out of town or something like
Cool.
that.
But we'll also make ideas on our own and send them
Nice.
to each other and work on them separately.
That's so cool.
But
Yeah.
if we're like in a writing session, it's almost always both of us there with the person.
That's so awesome. Yeah, Danny's more of like the super detailed sound design producer guy. I'm more of the big picture guy. So it's really cool to hear you guys say that.
Seems like that's
Yeah.
a common thing with a lot of duos. It's like there's one guy that's like obsessing about the 8-bar loop, and then the other guy's like, whoa, like we got to get a song done here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty insane.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love that. So what are you guys working on right now? So you guys just put out this album, right?
Yeah.
You guys have crazy features on there. You got Pluko on there. You guys have Madeon. Like, what is one of your favorite songs on that new album?
I would
to
say
work on?
the Madeon one was definitely one of my favorite ones to make.
Nice.
Like just getting to work with him again, and like it was cool too because that song we went to him. I hit him up and was like, hey, we got like a month left to like write our album. I would love to just like get a day in and make something with you. And he was like, hell yeah, I'm down. But like, I think it'd be kind of cool. Maybe just bring me a bunch of like ideas that you have and like production things that you have. And let's just like pick one and we'll write a song over it and I'll sing it. Like, I don't want to write something from scratch with you and like produce something. Like, let's just do it this way, which
Cool.
we hadn't done with him before. And, you know, it's kind of probably not what you would expect from like someone who's as great of a producer as he is.
Yeah, he's
But it was
insane.
cool to pull up and be like, really just focus on like writing a great song over
Yeah.
this thing that we had. And like, I feel like we got very, I don't know, like really, really focused so hard on like, we didn't want to write something that was like verse, chorus, bridge. We were like, let's write something that's like kind of short and sweet and like simple, but like everything really matters in it,
Yeah.
songwriting wise.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
We me and Kian actually we saw Porter Robinson at the Hollywood Bowl.
How was that?
It was insane.
I was out of town. I wish I could have been there.
Oh yeah, because Madeon came out for I think it was like the last. Yeah, it was like the last song for Shelter, and bro, people were like crying. Everybody was going crazy. I was jumping up and down. It was totally
That's such
nuts.
a great song, man.
Yeah, it is, man. So yeah,
Does he still do the Launchpad shit live? Remember, because that's how he like broke out too. Remember, his whole thing was doing the Launchpad, and then his like music was like, oh, he's actually insane at fucking producing too.
Yeah.
dude, he had an entire band, so it was like a pop punk show.
No,
But
not
then-
Porter. I'm sorry, I'm talking about Madeon.
Oh, Madeon.
Yeah, does he still do that live? Do you know the whole Launchpad thing? Wasn't
I think
that
he
his
still
thing?
uses a Launchpad live.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's as much like showing off the Launchpad stuff on his last show, but he still definitely uses it
I
live.
wonder, when you guys work in sessions with him, is he Launchpadding that shit or what?
No,
No.
he's just a crazy whiz with FL.
Oh, he's an FL kid. Oh,
Yeah,
what?
that
even
makes sense.
dude, the way he was recording vocals was super interesting too. He's got
Really?
his crazy chain to make his voice sound really cool, and almost nothing was done to a click or even like to the song. He would
Really?
do a lot of just like even the vocals that Freddie did. He'd be like, okay, just like sing it out loud. Everyone be quiet. You'd sing it out loud, and then he kind of stretch it to fit in with the song.
Interesting.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It was more about just like, let's get it and let's just start putting it in there
Yeah,
and doing stuff.
and
with
then
it.
he's just like really like I don't know how FL works.
Yeah.
But like watching him use it, I'm like, this is like a video game.
Yeah, him and Porter, I feel like are like the savants of our like EDM genre. Like there's some kids that's just, and Zed too. Zed's that
Yeah,
way
Zed
too. Where
for
it's just
sure.
like, how are you so good at stuff? And Joyride. There's a couple savants.
Yeah,
Joyride's a savant.
You got to stick to one genre though.
I know. There's a lot of, but Porter and Madeon are just like in this realm of like,
Yeah, they are.
whoa, you know, like I don't know if I could ever be. I mean, I'm not to put myself down, but like I don't know if I could ever be that good or like that
You can.
creative. You know? Yeah.
anyone can be that.
Thanks,
good.
dude. Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't be that good. You know what? Fuck them. But yeah, they're obviously very, very inspiring. That must be so cool for you guys just to have that full circle moment, just to be able to work with them. I know we've had a couple of those, and it seems like you know, the more that we progress in our career, as far as like with XLNT, we're finding that a lot of other people are having these really cool sort of full circle moments where they like maybe they met somebody that they really looked up to, or they sent them a song and like nothing ever happened, but then like years later they end up being able to work with them. You know, I love those stories. So like you know, for you guys, I'm curious, you know, you guys have a very like specific sound. Have you guys ever like played with the idea of just being like, you know what, fuck it, let's just put out a tear out EP, you know, let's just put out some heavy shit. Like, have you guys ever you know, just done some of that stuff for fun? Like, you ever get like kind of you know, maybe bored of what you're doing and you want to just try some new shit? Or
Nothing ever that heavy. I don't
No,
think.
we definitely do. Like Black Marble was definitely like some, you know, out of the out of the box for us. And then, you know, we also sat down and wrote like a whole like rap project.
Oh, you did?
Really?
Okay, sorry, I didn't know about that.
That one
That's
never
sick.
came out, but
Oh, okay.
Black
Came out.
Marble's out.
We
have to check that out.
we
I
were
have not
working
heard
on-
that yet.
Working on that. It never came out, but might in the future. But yeah, we worked on that for like a whole summer. And it was kind of like just inspired by like what we kind of grew up listening to, like the Jay-Z and Kanye and Lupe Fiasco
Sick.
era, and
Yo,
like,
that's sick.
like super soul sample and like 90 BPM, like hip hop grooves, and
Yeah.
and we were actually like rapping on it and kind of just it was just nice. It was like a really cool feeling to kind of just. Well, I feel like we went into it like, let's like make the kids in us like super proud and be like,
Oh, that's cool.
look what we like can do now, like, you know, as adults, and looking back and just like speaking in the voice that like, you know, the kid in us would be proud to hear,
Yeah.
you know, from us and whatnot. But so that was cool, and I'm sure it'll maybe come out at some point, but
Right.
a bunch of good tunes on there.
I have
sure.
noticed a lot of hip hop influence in your guys' music, so that's cool. Like
Yeah,
that sort of
definitely.
They could definitely tell with a lot of your music.
Yeah, for sure.
Big
Love-
hip hop fans for
That's
sure.
cool.
Love hip hop.
Definitely
hip-hop
grew
and
up
jazz.
on a lot of that.
Like Robert Glasper is great. We love him.
Sick.
Jay Dilla and that whole kind of the like jazz hip hop.
Terrace Martin.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of that wave is sick.
If you're an EDM producer and you need some serious sounds, make sure you guys go to XLNTSOUND.com. They have everything you need, from Serum presets, project files, remakes, and even free downloads for you guys. And check out all these different testimonials that all these heavy-hitting EDM producers are saying about XLNTSOUND.com.
And on top of that, use code TheExcellentShow at checkout to save 10% off your next purchase.
Do you guys do a lot of? I don't know if I've ever noticed, but do you guys do a lot of sampling in your production? I've seen a video of you guys like, you know, playing with a bunch of stuff to make samples and doing that. But do you ever sample a lot of records for your stuff, or is that like, are you guys big into that at all, or no?
We did a lot of sampling on that, you know, unreleased hip hop project.
Yeah.
And we did some on the album that we just put out. Like our song "Wonderful" has like, that's like all like 3 different samples. We sampled on our song "Underground" that's on the project. We sample a good amount, but like the clearance shit is like
I
not
know.
the
Oh,
most
it's
fun.
insane.
"Wonderful" that was the most annoying clearance we've had to deal with, because
Wow.
we had 3 different samples on there. One of them was a Curtis Mayfield sample, which we thought was for sure not gonna happen. That one cleared like
Wow.
super easily and for not too much money. And then we sampled this artist Frex, who's a UK singer, and that one they like wanted too much money for it or something, but we got the publishing side cleared, so we got it replayed.
Cool.
And then we had this other sample that was from like, it was just his vocal saying like a couple words, and it was from like a pack of acapellas that our A&R at Interscope had sent us, and we couldn't figure out who was singing it
Oh,
or
yeah,
anything.
okay.
So like we couldn't
Interesting.
clear it for the longest time, and then at like kind of the last second, someone at some publishing company ran it through their system or something. It was like, okay, I found out it's from this unreleased Nicole Scherzinger song from 2017 or
Oh,
something.
wow.
So then we had to go through the process of trying to clear that, and then they were like, hey, we don't know who else was in there writing the song with her,
Yeah.
so we can't even clear it for you guys because like we don't know who else was on it.
Oh,
and
man.
and we were like, well, can we just put it out, like and, like we'll save some of the money and
Right.
pay once you figure it out. And they were like, we can't do that. And now there's a
Damn.
Oh,
paper
that's so
trail of it.
lame.
So
Yeah,
we-
right. So now they know that it's there. So
In
if you-
hindsight, we should have just been like, it's a splice sample and put
Right.
it out, and no one would have known.
Yeah.
You know.
that's what's tough.
But
about
that
the
like
sampling, man.
held the whole album for like 2 months trying to
Damn.
figure that out.
That's crazy.
That sucks, man.
So
Yeah, but with AI getting better, I feel like
Yeah.
there's gonna be more and more AI samples. Just
Yeah.
like,
I'm curious to see how they're going to work around the legalities of that, because we're all thinking the same thing. Like, all right, well, I'm just gonna have AI make this, and,
Yeah.
you know, and it'll be fine, you know. But
Yeah,
I'm curious what they're gonna do.
they're gonna have to like copyright the models, I guess, or something.
We have to
but, like,
copyright the. It's like, let's say you're sampling from us talking at, you know, the Excellent podcast, like, and then they're putting a model on. You're using somebody else's, but you can mix models, so it can sound like nobody we've ever heard before. But the original source, it's like,
Yeah,
how
but
do you copyright that? I don't know how they would.
Right.
well,
do
Grimes did it. So Grimes
allowed
copyrighted.
everybody.
Yeah, but she copyrighted it first, and then she like allowed everybody to
okay,
use
so
it.
she copyrighted her model.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, and I think Drake did it too because of those crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That crazy producer that came out and just started making Drake songs.
They're so good.
That
too.
was so sick. So how do you guys sample your music? Do you guys use Ableton?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
or-
use
use
sample.
Ableton.
And when you're doing your vocal chops or your sampling, like walk us through like how you would do it. Like, do you guys just
Either,
throw it
like,
into sampler and start
Sampler
chopping,
or
or
Serato sample.
It's not always just one way. There's a million ways to do it.
Yeah.
But we like to just kind of switch it up each time, or like do whatever method is good for whatever we're trying to do. But like
yeah,
sometimes, yeah, Serato sample and use a keyboard. Sometimes you chop it up in the timeline. Sometimes we'll throw it into like a I don't know if you know about like the generative like sequencers. There's, like-
Generative.
I know that.
Yeah, where it's like you hit a random button and it generates a sequence.
Oh no.
And
That's
Oh
cool.
yeah, in Ableton.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then you
yeah.
can set like the density or like how many or how many of the 16th
randomness.
notes
Like in
Oh,
the
okay.
Tear Out
hit.
video.
Yeah. Okay. That
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
And so you can like just throw that like
That's
or
dope.
that on something and then get a bunch of different patterns and then layer like different patterns on top of other patterns and kind of just start to get like this
Yeah.
big kind of but like like you
Let
like
happy
when you're
accidents-
recording like claps or something
Yeah.
and you record one track and then you record up to like 10 tracks of just like single hand claps. It starts to build into like you hear all these different kind of like things layering on top of each other and
Yeah.
just when you layer a bunch of stuff like that it starts to sound cool. So doing that with like vocal chops
That's
is
super
fun
dope.
too.
Yeah.
I heard Serato Studio has a really cool randomizing feature where you throw a really long sample in there, and then there's like a random button, and it takes you to random spots in the
Yeah.
chop.
Oh, really?
Do you ever use that?
Just things like it, yeah.
That's so
all the
cool,
time.
man.
Yeah, we love like new gear and like new toys and messing with stuff. And
Yeah. One thing.
I've been
Sorry, go ahead.
I've been like making my own plugins with Max for
Oh,
Live.
cool.
Brad's been
Oh,
going crazy.
sick.
with
I
Yeah.
wanna
Max for
see
Live.
that.
It's super fun.
Like every other day, he's texting me like, "Yo, I
Yeah.
made a new plugin."
That's
Yeah.
dope.
Can we get a taste for it during
For
the
sure.
production segment?
yeah.
Okay, sick.
There's a lot of fun stuff you can do with Max for Live. I would definitely
Yeah, it'd be really
recommend it.
interesting.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, we are super excited to let you guys know that we finally have launched our YouTube membership page. You guys can now join the Excellent Sound YouTube page as a member and get tons of awesome perks, like exclusive content for your eyes only, as well as access into our guest project files, extra sounds, extra footage, and get your questions answered directly from the pros. You'll also get some extra perks like badges, emotes, and priority comments and chat. But that's not it, and we've saved the best for last. We are gonna match your membership price with a monthly coupon to the Excellent Sound store, which makes your membership essentially free. You can use this coupon for serum presets, samples, project files, and even lessons. Becoming a YouTube member really helps out our channel and allows us to bring in more awesome content from our guests and from us. We have a few different price point tiers and each one is better than the next. So click the link in the description and join our membership now, and let's build this community to be something bigger than we've ever dreamed of. Like maybe like getting Skrillex. I don't know, we'll try to get Skrillex. We get bigger. I feel like he might come on. That might help. Let's try to get Skrillex. One thing I've noticed with your guys' production, is you guys have an amazing ability to choose the right sound or sound selection, and I would even call it sound design, right? You guys choose like a lot of the right like synths. You guys have like a very, very specific ear for the sounds that you guys select, even when it comes to your drums, and like I said, especially on your synths, to create that sort of vibe that creates your guys' sound. Where do a lot of those sounds come from? Do you guys use a lot of analog synths? Or are you guys using like Silent, Omnisphere, Serum? Like what are you guys' go-to as far as when you guys are making these amazing like lush leads and chords and stuff that you guys always do?
A lot of Serum. We used to use like Silent all the time, but now I just don't have it downloaded, so I haven't used it in a long time. But Serum's great. We've gotten like a bunch of analog gear, and it's fun, but it never really holds up with like Serum. Like Serum, just you have so much control and all the wave tables and just the automation you can do, and like it's just nice to be able to change it later. Like I want to change the filter cut off.
Yeah.
After you record it, like you can't really do that when you're recording audio from a analog synth, but then you can just open up the project file and change as many things as you want as you're working with software synths. But yeah, Serum's great. I would say we use Serum the most.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Are you big like preset tweakers? Or are you guys like from scratch, or like how does that process?
It's nice to have presets, but then also I make a lot of presets just from scratch, and a lot of great like sound design with synthesizers like can be pretty simple. Like you just take a saw wave and add more voices and add some detune and put a filter on it, and you got like a nice lush pad. It's a lot of my favorite things are pretty simple. You just use like one LFO or one envelope, two of them maybe, and you kind of have like start to have like either a pluck or one of the like future bass pads, or like with kind of like the medium attack, medium decay, kind of like flutter kind of vibe. But yeah, I love sound design and like making synthesizers and whatnot, but also for like drums and stuff, like lots of splice, and then also just kind of you have this collection that you build over the years. I think I have like 210 gigabytes of samples in my sample library, so a lot of samples.
That's awesome, man.
Only 210.
Yeah, we have like terabytes.
Really?
We're a sample company. We make packs.
Yeah.
We have to have.
I'm crazy about it, dude.
Yeah, you're especially nuts about it.
Yeah.
I don't really like having presets anymore because I'm usually just making shit for our packs or whatever.
Yeah.
And it becomes like hard. I get like overwhelmed with the amount of sounds that I have sometimes. But what's nice is when you are like maybe making samples is just being able to type in, Command F and typing in clap and then scrolling to a random place and being like, this clap. And then you could find cool packs that way too,
Yeah.
So I really like doing that personally, but.
So I wanted to bring it back to 2016, 2017. When you guys were producing back then, what usually came first? Did the vocals come first and you guys are kind of producing around the vocals? Or were you guys doing it at the same time with the artist in the room? I would love to get your guys' point of view on that, because we don't really have like pop producers on the pod. So I would love to get your guys' take on that.
Yeah, I'd say back then it was like a lot of over the internet, like sending back and forth. Like It's Strange, we made the beat. And then it had like no drop yet, and we sent it to her, and she wrote the song, and
cool.
Then we produced the drop, and then it came together that way. And at the time we were doing a lot of remixes too, so you'd work with the vocal from the beginning, and then kind of make everything else around the vocal.
Cool.
And I still like that method a lot, where you have the vibe, you have the vocal and the melodies, and you're just trying to support that perfectly. I feel like I make my best productions when it's like that, because then you know what you're supposed to make it fit, or like what it's supposed to do, or like what's the emotion of the lyrics, and then okay, let's support that with the chord choices and then the melodies, and just make everything fit perfectly around the vocal. I think that's kind of my favorite way to do things, for sure.
That's awesome.
I feel like around 2017 though, like around sort of like the Love Is Alive EP and then like Kids at Play EP, we started doing a lot more sessions where like we were writing the song and producing the whole thing at the same time in the room with the artist or with the writer. It's interesting because like that's my favorite way to create music. Like I like starting things from scratch and like writing things while we produce it at the same time. I think I'm definitely a little more like songwriter focused than like production focused.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely started out more sending things, and then now we do a lot more like in the room writing everything from scratch.
Yeah, you guys.
That's cool.
You guys work with a ton of vocalists, and I was wanting to ask you guys, like, what's your process when working with vocalists? Do you guys do do you guys help write the top line, or you just let them do their thing, and then you just kind of help guide and produce? Like, how do you guys do that when you're working with a vocalist?
Depends on the person. Like some people really just like go the fuck off, and they're just like can just like do it, and I think if you recognize in the moment, like, hey, they're just going
Yeah.
and they got this, you kind of like stay out of the way. And then when they have something, you know, I'll hear what they have and give any notes if I have them or something. But I like to be a part of like coming up with the idea with them. It's really like, it's such a case by case thing.
Yeah.
You know, and some people also like, I think sometimes if you're in the room and you're with an artist and someone who's there just as a writer, you can kind of let them do the writing, you know. But sometimes if it's like it's just us two and an artist, you know, you feel like you want to lend a hand on writing the song and also be working on the production at the same time.
Yeah.
Unless they're one of those people who just write real quick and crazy, and you
Just
know
writing
that's
monsters.
Them. Yeah.
That's what I've noticed too about what's kind of nice about being in a duo. I know not that this like really matters, but like for us, like one of us can, if we're getting in a session with like a writing camp, like one of us could like get on the engineering side and then the other one could like help with top lining. So like one, you know, we can all be a part of, and not that this matters, but like be a part of the actual vocal writing, and like there's points involved with that as well as like being the person who's actually making the beat. And stuff.
Yeah.
You know
There's
what I
some
mean?
songs we've done where I didn't really do like any production, and I just
Help
wrote
the
the song
vocals.
with the person, and Fred was in the front. Like Love Is Alive. I don't think I did any production on that.
Right.
I just wrote the song with Elohim. But
Oh,
Fred,
that's
like,
so cool.
because we were both just doing our things,
Yeah.
it came out the way it came out.
There's like synergy when you have another person to kind of help you with the whole process, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm driving and Danny's like with the artist, you know, even just hanging out or like making them feel comfortable and
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
you know?
No,
there's
like
super helpful.
There's like an art to it, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's an art to being in a duo, I find.
for sure.
Totally.
For sure.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about writing, I did some deep diving on you guys.
Oh, boy.
And I saw that you're on the closer credits.
Yeah.
You want to talk
dope.
about, you helped write one of the biggest songs in the world.
Yeah, I know. It just hit 3 billion plays.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
what?
insane, dude.
Yeah.
Only
But-
3 billion.
Only
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, how did that come about?
We were on tour with the Chainsmokers. I was still in high school at the time, so it's kind of crazy to write a,
So
a
sick,
number
dude.
one 3 billion play smash in high school. Yeah, I'll always be proud of that. But we were where were we? Urbana, I think. Yeah, Urbana, Champaign, Illinois. And like after the show, we're hanging in the green room, and then me and Drew were just talking music, and he's like, "Should we go hang on the bus?" He had some speakers on the bus, so we went out and started making tunes. We were up till like 4 or 5 a.m. making the song, and just made the beat that night in the back of the bus, and just it happened real easily. Just
So you
one
guys
night.
just worked on that one idea.
Yeah, we
That's
just worked
so
on
cool.
that, and then so we just had the production, and the production was like done that night. Like there really wasn't much change from that night to like the final. But I didn't hear the song until it was like performed at Coachella with Halsey on stage,
Wow.
and I was in the crowd, and I'm like, wait, I think this is the song
You
that
turned
I
to
made.
me. You were like, I think this is the one I did with
think
Drew
this-
on the bus.
I hadn't heard it, and I didn't know anything about what was going on with it. And then I see Halsey go on stage, and I'm like, "Oh shit, okay."
What
Yeah,
a-
so you didn't even
what
know
a
she was a part of it.
smash.
No, I mean, I don't think so until after I saw it at Coachella. Yeah, and I was like,
That's so
okay,
sick, man.
so this is coming out next week. Cool, sounds good.
That's so dope.
But yeah, it was like made the production, and then I think they wrote it like either that next night or the night after on the bus as well. Then got Halsey on it, and yeah, it was a fun one.
That's so cool,
But
man.
yeah, my girlfriend at the time was just waiting at the front of the bus, like while we were in the back, and there's like till 4 or 5 a.m. She was like pissed off, like,
babe,
come on.
I'm writing one of the
I'm like-
biggest songs
I'm like,
in
I
the
think it
fucking
might be
world right
important.
now.
Might be important. I don't know.
That's so awesome.
That's dope.
I feel like you guys and the Chainsmokers have like had such a huge grip on bringing bringing EDM to the
man.
mainstream masses, man.
Yeah.
Like that was huge, and I mean it's still huge. And I feel like if you guys weren't there, it would be so different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
EDM would still be like this like underground kind of thing. No clean vocals, maybe just still pre-drops. You know?
That's
Who
funny.
knows, man? You know?
Yeah.
You never know.
I think that's so cool.
What do you guys think the future of future bass is? since we're talking about it.
Present bass.
Present
present
bass. Let's get present with it.
I feel like the future was Stutter House.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so,
that is a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
now we'll see where that goes.
That is. I didn't. That's really, really. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
It seems like that was like the evolution of it, and I feel like now we're kind of on the way out of Stutter House, and so we'll see where,
Nice.
where it goes. I think like also just like emotional dance, like pretty house and emotional house, is kind of also another lane of it. There were so many like influences in future bass. I feel like that it wasn't just like one thing. It was
Yeah.
like all these culminations of different like subgenres of music that were going
split.
on at the time. Definitely had like its hip hop influence and like indie music and like dance music and
Berkeley kids.
yeah,
Crazy
a
chords
little
and
bit
shit.
of jazz, a little bit of there's a lot going on with future bass. But yeah, no, I mean, who knows? Who knows? where
It
it's
definitely
gonna
like
go.
split off too, because you had like the sad boy, and then you have like Stutter House. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like this like just future bass in itself. That's a really good point too. Is like, it is kind of like a very blended genre. There is like
Yeah.
there's indie in it. Like there's a lot of like a little bit of indie music in it, and there's electronic, and there's these big lush chords, and there's even like a little bit of house, and there's a little bit of bass too.
Yeah,
And how
and
those
the
things are
hip-hop.
able to sort of, like I said, like sad boy, I feel like is an evolution of future bass, and Stutter House is an evolution
Yeah.
of future bass.
It's interesting because I feel like future bass as like a genre it's weird because it's not like confined to like a tempo.
Yeah.
Like house music exists in a specific tempo
Sure.
range, and mid tempo exists in a specific tempo range. But like there's future bass songs that are at 90 BPM
Yeah.
and 125 and 135 and 150 and like
Yeah.
it's I don't know, it's like a weird genre to like
Yeah.
put a label on.
It's pretty cool though to think of that as like we forgot about pop too. It also like became into like an EDM pop. Like
Yeah.
it developed into that, like with the Chainsmoker type stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to think about that a genre was able to do that. I mean, other genres have done that though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's what's so cool about EDM, I think, is like the splitting of the genre,
Yeah, it's just a whole evolution. It's really cool.
One thing I want to talk to you guys about too, that I've noticed about you guys is it seems like you guys have been able to work with some really powerful people in EDM. I noticed you guys also got to work with Skrillex. I want to ask you guys about that. What I noticed about that, which I thought was interesting, is the track itself says it's co-produced by Skrillex as opposed to releasing with Skrillex. What was the deal with that?
I think
And
that
what
was
that
like
experience like?
I'll answer the first part first.
Okay.
Like it was kind of I think just at a time where he wasn't putting out a ton of Skrillex stuff, so he was kind of like, hey, this is like we'll put it out, but just have it be like co-produced by me.
Got it.
But that experience was really interesting because we had gotten in the studio with him a couple times and made some cool stuff, and then there was one day where he hit me up and was like. He was like, I'm talking with a kid who's got cancer right now, and like kind of he wants to make music, and I'm helping him out with like teaching him some production stuff, and like got him a laptop and whatnot. And he said like his favorite artist is Louis the Child, and I do these kind of like Zoom calls with him where I talk with him and stuff. And like I was just wondering, if sometime in the next couple weeks, if I were to like call you up and bring you into one of these Zoom calls with him, like, would you be down with that? And we were like, yeah, totally.
That's right.
Sick.
And like a couple days later, he like hits me up, was like, hey, I'm on with him. Can you guys join in? And we just started like talking about music and production. And I feel like the kid might have like asked something about like, how do you start songs or something? We're like at the studio at Freddie's place, and Sonny's at his studio. And he was like, yeah, sometimes I'll just start like making like a little vocal chop. Like I'll just drag something in and I just start chopping it up like this. And maybe you change this and that. And he just starts like making stuff. And then, Freddie's like, okay, yeah, like I'm going to play these chords now. And like we record some chords on the piano and like send it over to him. And we kind of just start producing over like Zoom with him. And he's like, now I'm going to collect all and save, and I'm going to send it to them. And so, like, this is how you send a song to someone. And
So cool.
we'd open it up, and
Wow.
we start adding new things. And, like, we just kind of started producing it, yeah, like just
Like
over...
a lesson.
Over Zoom. Yeah, like a lesson over
teaching a kid.
Zoom. And then when we finished up, we were like, yeah, this is a really cool song. And we got together one day with this awesome artist, Alexander 23, and we were like, we have this thing that we produced with Skrillex, like, you know, would you want to try and write something over it with us? And then we wrote the song over it with him. He ended up not wanting to stay on it with his voice, so I recorded vocals to it, and that became the song Waiting to Feel Like This.
That's so cool, man. What
Yeah.
a story, dude.
Yeah, it was super
That
interesting.
kid must have been so stoked, dude.
We credited him as a writer on
That's
it too.
so
That's
rad.
We
so
were like,
amazing.
You were a part of it. Like
That's
if you
so dope.
you brought us all together to make it.
Wow.
That's so crazy. Yeah. So what was it like just working with Sonny, just in general, like with his like sort of process? Did you guys?
He's a beast, man.
Yeah.
He's such a beast. Like I don't know. And what's interesting, he uses a lot of Ableton stock plugins.
Yeah.
Every time we've worked with him, I've always been kind of like amazed at how many stock plugins he uses. You would think he'd be using like the craziest things you've never heard of, but he's
Right.
like, I think he probably just knows how to use them really well from using them back before we had all these
Right.
crazy plugins to use.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
He's
man.
just fast.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That he's just like, and you're like, what the fuck just
Yeah.
happened? Wait, what did you do?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Hey everyone, I just want to take a quick second to celebrate the anniversary of Gorilla. It's been an entire year since we released the Gorilla series, and it's no secret why it's the most popular pack to date. So we've decided to do something really cool. We decided to create the ultimate Gorilla anniversary bundle for you guys. This bundle is going to include 400 Serum presets, a ton of samples, and 11 Ableton Remake project files from some of your favorite artists like Skrillex, Virtual Riot, and Fred Again. For those of you that already purchased Gorilla's early access, don't worry, we got you covered. For the first time ever, we are actually including an expansion pack for Gorilla available on our site now. It's gonna have new Serum presets in the same style of multi-genre, and of course, 5 new Ableton Remake project files from Skrillex and Fred Again. And if you missed out on your chance to get all of the original project files from the early access bundle, we got those on our site for you too. We got a ton of different options for you guys, celebrating the holidays all the way up until the end of the year. So make sure you guys go check out the link in the description and go get your copy of your Gorilla's Ultimate Anniversary Bundle today. Let's jump back into the podcast. Also, too, another thing, this is also kind of, I want to get like a little bit into your guys' live shows too, but are you guys like the kings of Coachella? You guys played it like fucking 17 times or some shit. Like
Played
you guys-
it a couple of times, yeah.
You guys live in this like this. I know you're more of like a DJ, so I feel like this maybe might be a little bit more question directed at you. But you guys live in this interesting area of festivals where like you don't play EDC as much. I'm sure you guys have played EDC, right?
We have, yeah.
But you guys mostly are like on the Coachella, like Lollapalooza sort of circuit, or maybe like Forest, you know, like
Yeah.
that type of stuff. So
I find we do a lot better at those festivals.
Yeah.
Like the super dance heavy ones, I feel like our music doesn't totally connect there all the time, which is okay.
yeah,
But I think when we play those like Bonnaroo's or
Yeah,
Outside Lands
exactly.
or Coachella, like I think maybe it's because it attracts more of like we're very song focused.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So I think those festivals attract more of like, you know, like a rock crowd or a rap crowd, like more people who I think are like down with like hearing a full song be played versus like, you know, sometimes at the more dance festivals, they're kind of like, okay, I just want the beat
Where's
the
the
whole
next
time.
drop
you know?
coming in?
10 out of 10 energy all
Yeah.
the time.
But yeah, I love playing those like multi-genre festivals, and you know, that's my favorite shit.
That's cool. And so do you guys like, you mentioned that you said you play your songs in your genre, you're going to play a song a lot longer because we're kind of both producers and like we've had experiences DJing a little bit, and now we're getting opportunities to DJ, you know, like playing EDC and shit, but it's like, so we didn't come from that like sort of DJ background. And so him and I are like, well, we got to play like drop, like it's got to be crazy, it's got to be aggressive, you know? And then like I feel like we struggle to like play a song for longer than like 30 minutes or sorry, 30 seconds. Or, like,
I struggle with that
or
too.
like a minute, because I'm like, what do I do? What,
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
just pretending, you know, like, so for you guys, like when you guys are DJing your set, like, and you just like, you know, and you're playing a lot of your music, which isn't necessarily as like banger focused, you know, you guys have bangers, but you know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
little bit more, more emotional music, right? How do you guys get the crowd going with that for those type of segments? And do you play the song a lot longer? Like, how do you guys do that?
I think in our like normal headline shows, we'll play a song for at the very least, like, 2 verses and like
Sick.
2 choruses or something. But I feel like, and then like our playground sets, which are kind of like our freestyle DJ sets, those we'd play less of our music and more of other people's stuff, and that's more like let's rapid fire stuff and
Right.
show people like our taste. But I feel like I focus a lot on like you're right, you can't be doing stuff all the time when you're DJing,
Yeah.
especially if you kind of know what you're gonna play and present to the crowd. But I think I'd really try and focus on like connecting with people in the crowd and like making eye contact and like really, like showing that I care about the people that are out there and the people that are singing the words to the songs. Because that, songs like really mean something to lots of people.
Yeah.
A song can like literally changes people's lives.
Yeah.
So I think when fans feel that from you, whether you're a DJ or a rapper or the lead singer of a band, like I'm sure you've had a moment where the singer of some band has like given you that eye contact even for a couple words, and you're like, you get this feeling. You know, I feel like I really try and focus on delivering that feeling to people.
That's awesome. I've never heard that explained.
That's
that way.
great
That's
advice,
cool.
dude. Yeah.
I've definitely cried at a concert before.
Oh,
I was on
yeah.
drugs,
Oh,
but like
for sure.
I definitely cried at like
Cried
a concert.
sober, man.
Yeah.
Just like
same.
whoa, like I just got so impacted by this band that's playing. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
cool that you do try to like, because I don't think a lot of people think about that. Even like with playing bangers, like what if people? I know people connect with the crowd, but it's more like you're rocking out with them. But like, what if there was like a little bit more of a way to like actually like have like a specific moment where you do lock eyes with somebody in the crowd? I remember seeing Blink, and I was like crowd surfing. And I remember like looking up, and I like was looking at Mark, and I was like, look at me, look at me, look at me. And I'm in crowd surfing, and he looks at me and he like nodded at me. And it was such just like an acknowledgement of like, you're a person and I know who you are in this world. Not that he's on this giant pedestal, but it's for Blink. It was for me, it was like a big band growing up that I loved.
Totally.
And that like was such a like important memory. Like I hold that very close to myself. Like, oh, he just acknowledged me as a person. And I know it sounds kind of like silly, but it was so awesome.
Yeah.
It was just like bro, like go, like I see you.
I think a lot of that comes from like I've had a lot of those experiences growing up of like connecting with an artist live.
That's dope.
And whether it's like I caught a drumstick or I've like do you guys know the band The Kooks?
Yeah.
Like I went to a Kooks show when I was in high school, and like the lead singer, he like runs around all crazy and shit. And I was in like the second row, and I was wearing this Bulls hat, and I like at one point just like held out my hat to him, and he like grabbed it and put it on, and I was
sick.
like so stoked that he's wearing my hat. And then he gave it back to me, and then they leave, and then before the encore, or comes out after the encore, and he like points at me, and he's like asking for the hat back, and I threw it to him.
Yeah.
Someone next to me gave
Dude.
me a Sharpie, and he signed the hat. Like, I'm definitely the only person to have a Bulls hat signed by the lead singer of the Kooks.
That's wild.
That's awesome,
But like,
bro.
I feel like because I've had those experiences, I'm like, I feel like the responsibility
Yeah.
to give that experience to someone else.
Sure.
I've
Yeah.
thrown so many of my hats out into the crowd to people.
Yeah, that's
because
dope.
I'm like, I know how much that means to like get something that is like a part of your favorite
Yeah.
artist or
Yeah.
something.
That's cool. How do you guys DJ too? Like, do you guys do like he and I will sometimes we'll switch, we'll go like 4 songs on or 4 songs off, or we'll go back to back. Lately we've been doing back to back because it's just more fun, I think, that way. How do you guys do it
Yeah.
when you guys are playing live?
We'll either do 1 or 2.
1 or 2?
Yeah.
And do you guys be like, let me get one more, or do you guys like plan your set? Like, you're gonna do this, I'll do that, I'll do this.
When we do our like regular like headline shows, we know what we're gonna play and
Right.
what we want to present to people, and that's kind of like I feel like we kind of are like, why don't you mix this one,
Oh, okay, yeah.
But when we
you know
do our
exactly.
like playground sets or like our Vegas sets, it's kind of like you'll play 1 or 2, and then if I really feel like, all right, that's good for now, I hand it off to Fred, or he might be like, yo, I got one.
Okay.
One. Okay, yeah.
The boiler room sets.
Like if he, if I always feel like if he's really like, yo, I got one, I'm like, okay, go take it.
That's dope.
That's
you
so
gotta know
cool.
your partner sometimes too.
Yeah.
Do you guys have this? Sometimes we have this thing where we're like, and sometimes we get really frustrated at each other when we're not synced up. But we have this thing where we do get moments where it's like he doesn't have to tell me anything because I've worked with him for so long and I just know, and we just and you're in this sort of pocket of somebody might be in the room and be like, what the fuck is happening? How are they able to and you're just, and then there's other times where it's just like, why can't we just fucking get on the same page? Because I don't understand what you're saying. Do you guys have that too, as far as when you guys are working together? Do you guys have that sort of either locked, synced, or just completely not?
I don't feel like we're ever super completely not, because I feel like we're very, I don't know, if I really suggest something and Freddie's like, no, and he feels very much like, no, that's not it, then I'm like, cool,
Right.
we have that trust with each other.
Yeah.
But I feel like we are very in sync on a lot of things.
I don't necessarily mean not at least not agreeing on an idea. I mean, so you just don't understand what he's trying to communicate to you. And sometimes you can communicate without even saying anything. Do you guys have moments like that? Does that make sense?
We usually just have little hand signals or something instead of words. Yeah. We're doing.
Yeah.
When you're working with other people too, do you guys do that too? I
Yeah,
love
we
that
try
about
and
being
teach
a
them
duo.
the language,
Yeah.
but they don't always. It's we could spend the session writing music, or we
Right.
could teach you our sign language, and
That's so
some people
funny.
have chosen sign language, and
Yeah.
you don't end up with any music that day, but
That's so
you get a
funny.
new language.
Yeah, and we usually have earplugs in, so we couldn't really hear each other.
Yeah.
if we wanted to, anyways.
Oh, that's good. You guys are protecting your ears.
Yeah.
We never
For
wear
a while,
earplugs.
for a while I wasn't. I wasn't for a while, but I should have been.
Yeah, it's your money makers.
Yeah.
I just try not to play too loud in the booth. I actually would rather it be quiet so I can hear. I can't hear it if it's
I
too
need to
loud.
blast
hate
it. I always blast it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but getting tinnitus is a good lesson
Yeah.
in acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
no.
have to learn
dude.
to accept your life. you
So
know?
is it constantly ringing all the time, or does it flare
Yeah.
up, or how does it work?
I guess there's times where it flares up more, but no, it's always ringing.
Do you think it's from playing live, or do you think it's from being in the studio?
Definitely
mostly?
live. Yeah.
That's the thing. I think we're we don't play live as much. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
For a
just here
while,
and
Freddie
there.
didn't have earplugs.
Or
I'd be up
wires.
there with earplugs, and
How many years? Was
What's
it
that?
years?
I don't know how many years,
Oh,
but
dude.
probably
either you didn't have
6.
them or you would always forget them or
probably
something.
6 years.
I don't know about 6 years.
Probably 5 years.
That's
I don't know
wild.
about 5 years.
I mean, at least 4 years.
I don't know about 4 years.
It was enough to get tinnitus.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But, and it's you're in the booth and there's the huge PA right
Yeah.
next to you and it's blasting super loud so you can vibe and feel the music and so it's right here, so it's
They
definitely
call them the Texas headphones.
Oh, yeah.
my right ear definitely has to be a little bit worse than my left because I'm always on the right side.
I noticed that
Always.
Even when he's wrong.
Yeah, I'm always on the right side.
I noticed that ear fatigue. I noticed that one ear will start to get tired before the other one. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that. And sometimes I worry. I'm like, oh, am I this? If I get tinnitus, this one's getting it
Maybe
first.
you're doing one ear on the headphones.
No, I'm talking about
Yeah.
just producing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to be sitting at an angle,
Yeah.
Just
even
one ear.
things
Yeah.
out or
Yeah,
something.
even
don't
out
know.
the phase.
Yeah.
hang upside down. I think
Yeah.
that'll help. That'll
Yeah.
fix it.
Yeah, you
That's
gotta
true.
protect your ears.
I got a couple more things, and then we should get into the production segment.
Yeah.
For sure.
I noticed that a lot of females listen to your guys' music. Are you guys aware of that?
Yeah, a lot of girls listen to our music.
It's
A
because of me.
lot of chicks.
It's because of me.
Yeah.
You're the handsome one.
That's me. It's all me.
Is that a strategy of you guys? Because I feel like if you get the girls to listen to you,
Yeah, the
the
guys.
guys are gonna come and follow. You know?
It was
There-
never a strategy. No.
There's a saying though. What is it? Women buy 50% of music and they make men buy the other 50%.
Oh,
Nice.
But
That's
that was
huge.
never really a plan or
Yeah.
anything. But if you look at our on Spotify, you can see the breakdown of male to female. It's it's never fluctuated more than 2 or 3% from 50-50
wow.
for
What?
as long as I
That's
can remember.
impressive.
Oh my
It's always been
gosh.
pretty much exactly 50-50.
that's insane.
Just the fact that you have women that I know girls like EDM and stuff like that, but it's a very male heavily influenced genre of music, so that's rad.
For us, it's
Yeah.
2% female watchers
Oh,
on
really?
YouTube.
we're making dick jokes all the time.
Yeah, it's probably our fault,
Ladies
That's
love
funny.
Louis, bro. The ladies.
Yeah,
I know
no, it's
Louis,
great.
but it sounds better to say Louis. Ladies love Louis.
Louis.
You can say whatever you
I'm
want.
down. We should switch it to Louis. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
maybe
love Louis the
mid-career
Child, dude.
change.
You know, 2025, it's Louis now.
Yeah. Artist formerly
Like a
known
big
as
announcement.
Louis. It's
Yeah.
now Louis.
It's a big change.
We
Rebrand.
haven't changed the spelling.
No.
Yeah.
It's just the pronunciation.
Yeah.
So I have one last thing. We're trying out a brand new segment
Yes.
of the show, and
Uh-oh. We'll see.
this is an experiment.
I didn't
you
agree to
guys.
this.
I know nobody agreed
My
to
lawyer
anything.
didn't say yes.
We're just gonna try it, okay? If you guys are into it, maybe if the people are into it, we'll do more. So
Okay.
we got.
Are we the first people to do this?
Yeah, you're the
Okay.
first people to do it.
We might be the last.
I just have to get it.
Very possible.
Depending on how it
Could
goes.
be the last people that
Yeah.
ever come on this podcast,
Yeah.
too.
They say
Yeah, who
truth or
knows?
dare.
Yeah.
Oh man, here, give me a second. Let me.
Tell us about the first time you guys kissed.
me and Rob?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was really sweet.
New Year's 2013.
Yeah, me and Dan, we've kissed numerous
I have
times.
kissed you.
Yeah, we've
I
kissed
have
on
a
the
legitimate
lips.
kiss
Kiss right
on my
now.
lips.
You know.
Kiss
No,
your
no,
homies
it's not the
goodnight.
it's not the right moment. It's gonna take away from the segment. Okay,
see, I'll do it.
So after the segment, dude,
right,
this is the whole point. All right, so we the new segment is we're getting video calls. We record the video for the guest, and we show you guys, and you answer the question from the viewer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cool.
So just press play on this when you're ready, and probably turn it up.
Okay. Are you gonna like show the video?
Yeah,
on
yeah,
this
yeah,
one?
yeah,
we're
Okay,
gonna
so
show
I'm
it.
gonna
We
have
got
to, like, show
editors.
it to-
Hello, guys.
Oh my.
What
it's
up?
me, Elohim. Hey, Robbie, Freddie. I miss you so much. I will always, 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 always remember and hold near and dear in my heart making Love is Alive with you guys. It was the first day we had ever met, and I don't think any of us knew what we were going to make that day. And one of you had to leave early, so we didn't have much time because you were going to graduate high school and you had to catch your flight back to Chicago. I just remember that day being so seamless, so fun, just instant chemistry, emotion, and honesty and realness. I just remember dancing around the studio, walking, and just like pacing basically and writing the whole song really quickly. So that was the best ever. I love you guys. I want to ask you one question. What is your favorite type of show to play? Do you like doing residencies? Do you like doing headlining shows? Do you like doing pop-ups? Do you like doing festivals? What do you love the most? I love you guys. Hopefully I'll see you soon, and hopefully we'll make another song.
Let's go. Oh, thank you, Elohim.
Miss her.
The best.
Yeah, she's awesome.
The best. Favorite type of show to play? I would say.
I'd probably say.
You go first.
You know what I would say?
You know what I would say.
You know what I
You
would
know what
say?
I would say.
Do you guys know what each other would say? Maybe you should guess
Ooh.
that.
Probably, but I'm just gonna say what I would
Okay.
say.
Okay. Say what you would say.
Probably like something like Lala or Coachella, like a bigger festival, like that, and especially those two because like I grew up going to Lala and Rob grew up going to Coachella, so they're just super meaningful for us. Yeah, something like that.
I think I prefer like just a big headline show. One of those sets
Sick.
where you're like everyone is here for us because
Yeah.
they care about us and they like really know the song. Like these are our people.
Right.
I like those a lot.
That's dope.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. It's usually the other way around. I feel like for a lot of artists, they want like the small personal shows of like 5 people, and But
I would definitely
I'm
I would definitely
headliner.
take, a smaller show where everyone's into it than like a giant show where, they're just standing there doing nothing.
Yeah.
And
But yeah.
it sounds like you prefer to like get your music out to more people as possible, which is dope.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's awesome. I think that's a cool way to like wrap up this section.
Yeah.
man. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys watch the production segment.
That's right.
With Louis the Child. It's coming up right now.
Thank you, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
Yeah.